Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Tika. And Tika has a question about the ancestors, and her question is this. Apparently when she was a child, many of the older people in her family would say that, if so-and-so ancestors saw this, they would roll in their grave. And her question is this a thing? Are ancestors outraged by changes in the modern world? Do they cling to the circumstances of their life that they lived as that ancestor and find changes in the world of the living horrifying? Or are they in a different place? And my answer to this is that generally speaking, I have not noticed a lot of ancestors rolling in their graves. Certainly not literally, but also not figuratively. I will say that different people's practice varies, and different people have different relationships with their ancestors. I've always been very close to my ancestors, and therefore have usually found them to be not rolling in their graves. Having said that, I think that where the ancestors are is a very different place from living in this world, and the part of them that survives as an ancestor is their higher self, not their lower self, which often will make a very different experience in dealing with them if they were a less than positive person in life. So generally, if we're actually talking about an ancestor rather than a ghost, which is someone caught between the worlds, you'll find that what is there is their better part, and you'll generally find them to be much more accepting in all likelihood than they were in their physical life, because it's not just a continuation of the physical life, it's a little different than that. Having said that, does this mean the ancestors will never be angry or never be upset about anything? No, it doesn't. There certainly are things, at least in my experience, that ancestors can be very agitated about. And occasionally it can even have to do with things in the world, but it usually isn't petty nonsense. Most likely, if you're working with your ancestors and you find them to be upset, it's most likely going to have to do with where you are in your personal path, and if you're not doing something you should be doing. At least in my experience, this is the case. It's not going to be about the latest story in the newspaper. For one thing, they're not necessarily getting the newspaper. And for another thing, the part of them that is the ancestor really is most likely not going to care. Although there may be some exceptions to that. If it is actually impacting the lives of their descendants, they may care very much, but not in the roll in their graves sort of way. At least in my experience. I have not found ancestors to be petty or silly or trivial in my interaction with them. So when someone tells you that so-and-so would roll in their grave, I think they're being overly dramatic. Again, that doesn't mean there's never an occasion when an ancestor might be angry, but usually it's going to be for a much better reason than the difference between the world we're living in today versus the world they were living in, or the difference in how one person lives their life versus another. Where they are, they have a different outlook, they have a different understanding of incarnation in the world, and if they're actually interacting with you as ancestors, they also probably have a very different view of your spiritual path, because their higher self and your higher self have a different relationship than their lower self and your lower self may have had when they were living. That relationship will continue in part, but it will be much wider and much more expansive than what would have been present in this world, because much more of their soul is actually involved. So those would be my thoughts on the matter, and I hope you find them helpful, and once again, we've come to the end of a week of vlogs. And this week we've had the following vlogs that you can vote on for your favorite of the week. And we started the week with Butterflies Flutter By from Wolfstar, about omens of animals that continually appear in unexpected places. And that was followed by Guide or No Guide from Reverend Vivian, about whether spirit guides are always present or sometimes unavailable, which was followed by Parents from Ravenhawk, who was asking how to deal with parents who disown you because of your personal choices, and then Yoga from Magenta, who was asking about metaphysical aspects of yoga, and of course today's question, Ancestors from Tika. And of course, as always, you can vote in the comments section at Magic TV, on Facebook pages where the vlog appears, or you can send it to me, Reverend Don Lewis, at donlewishp@AOL.com. And I thank you for watching, and until next time, may you blessed be. Pray for peace. Pray for love. Pray for stability. Pray for the nation where you live. Pray for the world.